guys are pretty disrespectful. They clearly don't understand the seniority system here. In the Senate, the senior guys always speak first. So they're showing complete disregard for the seniority system. They don't seem to understand the Constitution is not relevant here anymore. They don't understand that we really can't cut spending or balance the budget. They just don't understand, but they will. Won't you? Thank you for sending me some help. Last night, and Rand Paul was talking. He said, "My goal is to make DeMint look like a model." And Mike, we got up and explained some policy day for about 10 or 15 minutes, and everybody's eyes were glazing over. And I said, now he's the policy nerd and not me. I need these guys here. So thank you so much for them, and Marco Rubio, and Pat Toomey, and Ron Johnson. We got a great new group of folks from all over the country because of the Tea Party. There's not one Republican here who does not understand that they would not have won the election without Tea Party support. Whether they were the most conservative or not when it came to the general election, they know that it was this new grassroots movement that pushed them over the top. Now, you're here today, not as a tourist, and not as a visitor, but as stockholders. And you're here with us today because we want you to be the board of directors of what's going on here in Congress. The seats that we sit in every day in the Senate are not ours. They're yours, and they're lent to us to speak for you here. And we want to make sure that as we try to represent the Constitution, our oath of office, and you, that we listen to. And some folks were questioning, why are you bringing in these Tea Party folks from the outside? You don't need a hall pass. This is your place. You can come anytime, and you were building, in effect, with the passion and the ideas that we saw in the last election. And you've truly changed the place already. The last Republican conference we had 2 years ago after the election, we weren't talking about how to cut spending, about balancing the budget, about ending the parochial, pork barrel, earmark culture. We weren't talking about that. But this time, because these guys are sitting in the room that you sent us, the first order of business was a Republican ban on earmarks. The balanced budget. The third was return to 208 spending level with a promise to get better. We started talking about the right things because of you. And I can tell you, after the last couple of years, when I got frustrated with my own party, we decided to go out and get involved in primaries, try to help candidates that would come and represent a constitutional government. I had no power or authority at all to be of any help. And you know what political endorsements mean. They mean absolutely nothing. But what happened is the power, the energy of this country has shifted from Washington back to the people. And all across the country, people, not just political activists, but folks who've never been involved with politics before. People who didn't like either political party. Folks who look ridiculous in Bermuda shorts and Hawaiian shirts, and you find out this guy owns a business or this lady's a lawyer. I mean, real people out there who took to the streets and said, enough's enough. We've got to stop this government from taking this country over a cliff. And what you did in this last election is to help start that process. What you did is send us enough people to the House and the Senate that we can stop the incredibly bad stuff that we've seen over the last 2 years. We don't yet have the numbers to do all of the good things that we need to do. But hopefully, because of the incredible debt that's about to sink our country, that we can muster up enough votes to stop raising the debt ceiling without some balanced budget commitment or something that will force us to use some common sense here. But this is just the beginning. I think America has woken up and we can't push the snooze button and roll back over and go back to sleep. The only hope we have of changing and saving this country is not in Washington, but it's still outside of Washington. It's the ideas and the passion It's the fear that we feel inside if we go take a stupid vote, knowing that millions of people are watching what we're doing. We can't go back to business as usual. And we've got to take what happened in 2010 and look at 2012 as this is decision time for America. This is where we determine whether we're going to be the city on the hill, the bastion of freedom for the next generation, or are we going to settle into what we call a European style of socialism, a government that keeps spending and borrowing and devaluing its currency, where people who really work and try to save and sacrifice lose more than they gain during the course of their life because of irresponsible government. This is not an election about Republicans or Democrats or anybody with a political label. This is about Americans deciding what kind of country we want to be in the future. And folks, there is a competition out there. There are nearly half of Americans now, when the pollsters ask them, do they approve of Barack Obama after the first 2 years? Nearly half of them say they approve. So the half of you who understand that what's happening is going to destroy our country have to be more active, more passionate, more winsome than we've ever been before. And this is decision time for America. The good news is we saw that there are not a few people here in Washington that hold power over you, but it's you that hold the power over us. And freedom in itself is when millions of people make their own decisions about what they want to do and what they don't. Tyranny is when a few people make decisions for those millions of people about what education their children are going to have, about what health care plan they're going to have, about what kind of pension they have when they retire, or where you can develop energy. Folks, we got a situation now that's teetering towards the top-down, collectivist, wrong approach to America. But everyone was stunned at what you did last time. And as I come through a crowd like this, there's so many of you just say, thank you for fighting, don't back down. I'm not here to hear your thank yous. I'm here to tell you power's in your hands. I'm thanking you for what you're doing. Because I would have been crushed a year ago, even by my own party, for trying to change things. But because of the people on the outside, because of folks like you standing up and speaking out, because of the conservative media, radio talk shows, and blogs, and Fox News, who could get out the right information, you were able to make an incredible difference in 2012. And the reason those doors are open and you're sitting here today is not because we want to institutionalize you or make you Republicans. And we're not trying to form just another caucus to make a Tea Party like all the other caucuses here. This is going to be a forum for you so that we can go through the next 2 years together. We can give you a report on what we're trying to do, and you can get up and tell us we're not doing enough. And you can keep reminding us that what is rational and reasonable here is not rational and reasonable on the outside. That what seems doable here is not enough. Just as Rand Paul just said. When he suggested cutting $500 billion, they said, oh, he's a far right winger. But if I walk through this crowd, I'm hearing, why aren't you cutting $1.5 trillion? Why aren't you cutting $1.5 trillion? That's what I've been saying. If we told you what we were going to cut, then a lot of you get up and walk out because it hurts you, that it takes from you. I don't think that's true. I think we're all ready to make a sacrifice, to make a difference and save our country. Because this is not about what we can get for ourselves or how much money we can take home to our states. This is literally about saving our country. Too long as politicians, and we need to listen to you. But there's some kind of critical mass groups behind us that were a part of helping and facilitate Tea Party meetings. They were part of the grassroots movement all across the country. They helped get out the word. They help us create the outside pressure. We want you to hear from them today, but then we want to get just some input from you. This is not the last time we're going to do this. I know you always won't be able to come up here. But the point is to make sure that we are connected with the people that we're representing who believe as we do in constitutional limited government. So I'm going to have to slip out in a second and go to a meeting, but I'm going to try to get back over here for the questioning. So thank you. Thanks for being a part of Saving Our Country.